Okay, so the goal of today is, in light of COVID-19, and obviously it's on the news everywhere, everyone's thinking and talking about it. I was thinking today, I wanted to share with you guys some thoughts I had and some tips about how to utilize this time and this season for the benefit of your clean eating journey. That doesn't have to be a wash or a time of panic or a time to just to kind of lose everything good, all the good habits, but it's a time that you could actually be using to reinforce them. So let's start and jump into those now. Hi everyone, Bethany here, your clean eating coach, recording today from a cold, snowy winter wonderland, and on the second day of spring. Right now, as you see behind me, we've got lots of snow on the ground, and just the other day when I recorded, it was bright and sunny and completely green. So here we are. This is winter in Colorado. So the first tip I had is that you use this time to experiment and to try new things. Because let's face it, right now, we're all stuck at home, right? There's no parties, no concerts, no sporting events. Like the things we typically fill our time with are not options right now, right? And so this is a great opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to take this time and I'm actually going to use it to further my abilities in the kitchen, to further maybe knocking down that recipe pile you've been collecting, because I bet you have one like me. And yeah, looking through it and saying, okay, I actually want to try and make this dish and see how it goes. Granted, some supplies are a little bit more in short supply right now, but use what you have, be creative, and use this as an opportunity to experiment and learn. This is definitely a silver lining. You have more time at home than you typically do, so go for it. Employ your kids, get busy chopping vegetables and trying new things, and you got people to feed, in your home, or maybe neighbors that need some cooking. And so, yeah, I definitely recommend you try that out. All right, the second tip is along those same lines, but be creative and resourceful. You've probably heard the quote, necessity is the mother of invention. I definitely see that playing out right now. We're all having to be creative with limited resources, staying at home. It's just a weird time for us, right? All across the world, especially here in America, right? Obviously, it's where we're coming from. And so this is a great opportunity to go into your pantry, go into your cupboards, your cabinets, look at all the items that have been in there for months, maybe years, and again, be creative and do something with them. So you might realize, like for me, I've realized that I've had these split green peas, dried split green peas in a jar for I think almost a year, and I've hardly touched them. And they're really good for you, a good source of protein, but I think because I haven't had a good recipe and I've tried making something and it didn't taste very good, so I kind of gave up on it. So one of my goals, something I'm going to be doing this weekend, I found a recipe through New York Times, and so I'm going to make the recipe and see how it goes. I'll see if I can let you guys know. So that's something I'm doing, is using what I already have in my pantry and trying something with it and being creative. So everyone's pantry looks a little bit different, but you'd be surprised at the things you can whip up when you just start to pull out those creative ideas and try it out. So let me know in the comments below if you do try anything creative and what that is. I'd love to hear your ideas, and maybe I can try it too. Okay, third tip. Use this as an opportunity to organize your kitchen, declutter, and get rid of expired items from your pantry. This is one that, life is just so busy. We don't think to clear out, get rid of, but we need to. Old things shouldn't be eaten. Although honestly, depending on what it is, expirations don't necessarily ruin items. So, you got to decide, but it might be helpful just to separate out and say, okay, these items are expired and these aren't. Wow, I have a lot of expired goods. And then decide, are you wanting to eat those expired goods? Or if you don't feel comfortable eating items that have been expired, whether they be eggs or beans or coconut oil or whatever, then toss them out. That would clear out a lot of space in your pantry. The other part would be organizing. So you might be annoyed at how your cupboard is full of cups and you can never get all your plastic containers to fit. Like, this is a great opportunity to look up some YouTube videos, find ways other people are doing it. One of these days I'm going to post a few videos about my own kitchen organization and how I've really minimized it so that it's a lot more user-friendly for us and it works much better for our life. And then decluttering, it's helpful to have someone else help you with this if you struggle to get rid of stuff, but really think about what your family needs, what your family uses, and then pull out the extra items and be willing to donate them and save them in a box, because donations aren't probably being accepted right now, but when they are, you'll have a lot of stuff ready to go in your house and your family will be happier for it. So like one example would be, a lot of us find it easy to collect cups. And the fact is, like, let's say there's 4 people in your family, 2 adults, 2 kids, or whatever, like, how many cups do you really need? Really? Like in my family, one thing we do is we have a lot of those big Nalgene bottles and different bigger bottles. And we actually just have them full of water sitting around our house. So we rarely use cups. Like, we use cups for a special beverage or maybe juice or a smoothie. But really, like, we don't use many cups. So I've really tried to pare down our cup collection and our mugs and just keep the ones that are most special and memorable for us. So that's something to try, is decluttering and really minimizing the items you have. Think about those special gadgets that are like, you use them once a year. Like, do you actually use them once a year? Maybe consider getting rid of it or posting online to sell again once we're a little more mobile. All right, and the last tip I wanted to share with you is regarding nutrition and labels. You know, part of clean eating, a big part of clean eating, is learning to understand what's on the labels of the items that you're buying. Because let's face it, none of us are eating solely fresh produce all the time. Or you buy pasta, or you buy some bread. Like, that's okay. But it's really important to know what's in your food. And so I would encourage you to spend some time and say, I'm going to learn to read labels. So I should have brought one out here with me. I'm sorry, guys. But like, grab a box of cereal or grab a bag of bread and look and see sugar content, protein, sodium, and do a little research to find out how much sugar is really a good idea within this product. What amount of protein would I like to have in my items? You'll often be surprised at how much sugar is in things like drinks you might have that you don't realize. Another thing to look for is added sugar. So like in a fruit juice, it might say 10 grams of sugar per serving, but it might say 0 grams of added sugar, and that's good. You don't want added sugar. The other part of the label to look at would be the ingredient list. I remember the day I learned this, it was like so eye-opening to me, was that the first ingredient on the ingredient list is what's the majority. Okay, the biggest item is the first one. So if you open your box of cereal, you look at the nutrition label, and the first ingredient is sugar. No, not a good idea. A lot of even scones, like a breakfast scone that you might feel like is kind of healthy. I had one at my an office the other day. The first ingredient was sugar, and I was like, this is so good, and I ate it. But I was fully aware that, wow, this first main ingredient is sugar. And I just, okay, I'm choosing it. But once you know what's in the labels, you're then making the conscious choice, which is still more empowered than just eating things that you think might be healthy, but aren't. So yeah, become an expert in reading labels so that when you return to the grocery store, you feel a lot more empowered and competent to decide, is that really what you want to put in your body? All right, so hopefully you can implement some of these tips during our COVID-19 craziness. Please leave comments below on what you're doing, how you're doing. I'd love to hear, what your journey looks like just in this weird season we're in. Keep aiming for healthy eating. It's a process, right? It's always a process. No one's perfect. I certainly don't have it perfect. I usually have like my one piece of chocolate every day still, a little caramel, and that's okay. There's no shame in that, but know what you're eating. Be educated. And you guys keep healthy and safe during this time. And I'll see you guys soon. Bye.